This was the first time they'd actually had a chance to talk. For once, there were no guards watching them.
Assholes can't even give us something warm. Are they trying to get us killed? Why go to all this trouble of abducting us from Earth, taking us to this place and that? It's a lot of effort for a bunch of ordinary humans, don't you think?
A third woman, Reiko, stood in the center of the room. She was the youngest out of all of them, barely even 20, Soraya guessed. Since they'd been rounded up, Reiko hadn't complained even once, until now.
This is like the third ship we've been on now.
The first ship had taken off from Earth, shuddering and roaring through the atmosphere until they broke through to the cold void of space, reaching what she assumed was low Earth orbit. From there, they'd been transferred to another larger ship that had flown for an excruciatingly long time, days even. Eventually, they'd arrived at the station, a place so massive and confounding that Soraya had thought she was going insane. The smells, the sounds, all the different aliens. Species she'd never seen or heard of before. Strange ships of all shapes and sizes. Her senses had been overloaded. Soraya knew there was a lot more beyond Earth's borders. She'd seen news reports and documentaries on the networks. But to be right in the thick of it, and helpless, how maddening. Nobody gave them a second glance as they were humiliatingly marched through the gigantic hall at gunpoint, where dozens, if not hundreds, of different alien races hung out, doing whatever they were supposed to be doing. It looked like they were engaging in business of some sort, trading or illicit activities or whatever. And nobody spared them a second glance, as if creatures being bound and led away by captors was something that happened all the time.
I think they're going to use us, Tia said in a tremulous voice, for their reproductive problems or whatever.
Her teeth began to chatter.
They're going to force us to have their offspring, Reiko said bitterly. That's what they do, isn't it? Take humans and turn them into breeding slaves. I can't believe those human assholes sold us out.
Let's not think too much about that now, Soraya said softly.
Please, it won't help. We have to stay positive. You're right. I'm just venting, I guess. Sucks being so helpless. Like there's nothing we can do right now.
Surely there's something we can do right now. Even something simple to get our minds off this awfulness. Stars, it's so cold in here.
Let's huddle,
Soraya suggested, quickly changing the subject.
We aren't dressed for this kind of cold. Better if we put our bodies together to conserve heat, right?
Right, Reiko agreed.
But can we stand? I don't like crouching down, not here. Makes me feel extra vulnerable, especially with my wrists bound like this. Ugh, this sucks.
Okay. Soraya winced as she rose. Her body ached all over from the grueling trip, from the beatings they'd given her when she was slow to react or when she dared open her mouth. When she'd tried to speak, the guards had struck her with vicious metal stick things, raining excruciating blows around her shoulders, arms, belly, hips, thighs, legs. Just about anywhere, really. With hatred in her heart, Soraya had quickly learned to cooperate. They'd taken her while she was out for her daily run. Every morning, Soraya ran the trail behind the university, a path that curved through a treed woodland, up and down gently undulating hills. That's where they'd ambushed her. The first bunch of assholes had been humans, around 5 or 6 of them, clad in black, hiding behind data lenses and black masks. They'd emerged from the bushes and cut her off, pointing guns at her head. She was bound and frog-marched to a waiting van, which had driven for hours and hours until they reached an airfield in the desert, where they boarded a small, unmarked spacecraft. There, she'd been placed in a holding cell with Tia and Reiko. They'd been forced to sit on the floor, legs crossed, arms bound behind their backs, as the shuttle took off, hurtling into space. It had jerked and shuddered, the acceleration throwing them against the wall. There were no safety restraints for them. The ship was clearly over capacity, and of course the bastards had taken the flight.